Guys, D Gaming here, back with another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today we are here to talk about, as you can see on the screen right now, the AGL, Kale, and Physical Caulifla EZAs. The translations for their Extreme Z Awakenings just dropped, so let's go ahead, let's look at these units. Big shout out to the big homie, Garesh. He's not a homie, but definitely a tremendous help with translations for the JP side of Dokkan. Also, a shout out to the Dokkan Wikia, where we'll be going to shortly, just to check out some of the units that can be run with these characters as they come out, and basically a best case scenario, like a best situations type thing, or well, not best situations, but a team that I was formulated in my head that I would run with these EZAs, just to make it not overpowered but fun, I guess. So without further ado, let's hop into these translations and whatnot. So first up is the AGL Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla. Her leader skill is all types key plus 3, HP attack up, HP all stats. All stats up 80%. Wow, I can't talk right now. It's like 12 o'clock in the morning, so like my brain is like jumping all over the place. Woo! Which is the key plus 3 stats up 80%. Not a big change from her stats up. What was it? Wrong one. No, she's right here. Yeah, not a big change from the key plus 2 attack up 70%. So not a big change from there. But her passive skill, attack up 120% and defense up 60%. That is extremely viable for Legendary Goku event, Super Battle Road, and Dokkan Battlefield. That is highly recommended. Speaking of highly recommended, she has a high chance to evade enemy attacks, and a medium chance to evade enemy attacks and counter with tremendous power. Medium chance to evade enemy attacks, I'm assuming that's super attacks, because the original one evades super attacks, so I'm assuming that's medium. That should be medium chance to evade super attacks and counter with tremendous power. So definitely good here. We already knew that one of Caulifla's main abilities and why she was so good in Super Battle, in the Super AGL stages and Super Battle Road early on in Dokkan, is her ability to evade and her ability to counter with tremendous power alongside the Super Saiyan 4 AGL 120% lead, the Vegeta. So definitely a good mainstay on AGL, becoming more viable, especially as new units coming out. So it's really good that they gave her the attack up, the attack up 120%, and really brought up her defensive toolkit. Attacks effective. Oh, we got something down here. Attacks effective against all types if a character whose name includes Kale is attacking in the same turn. So they're basically buffing not only her defensive toolkit, but now her offensive toolkit is boosted as well. So that is definitely and I kind of my brain is everywhere. Wow, it's funny how your brain like starts to like destroy itself when it gets closer and closer to like early in the morning. But definitely we've seen this. Name includes Caulifla, name includes Kale, so it makes sense that they would do that kind of wanting you to run both Kale and Caulifla on the same team, and because they link so well together, not really something that is bad, to be honest. Super attack causes supreme damage and raises defense by 60% for 3 turns. Again, that defensive toolkit getting buffed, increasing her ability to tank when needed, but also she has a built-in toolkit to also evade and erase all damage whatsoever, like the attempted damage, to be honest. So great, awesome defensive toolkit, fantastic, well, a fantastic defensive toolkit and a pretty good offensive toolkit as well. Sorry, she only still counted super attacks. Okay, so that's what I thought, that that was super attacks. I think that's what that was. Okay, cool. So let's hop on over. Let's back on out and hop back on over to the physical Kale stats here. Leader skill, physical type ki = 3, stats up 100%. That's cool. Passive attack up 160%. Wow. She is going to be an offensive monster. Performs an additional attack with a great chance to become a super attack. That was already on the other Kale, but that is nice because great chance. I'm positive that great chance is 70%. 75. I can actually look on here. I think that's great chance is 75. 70% chance. Right. So that is 70% chance. So she has a 70% chance, and the other Caulifla had high chance and medium chance. So I think it was 50% chance to dodge and a 30% chance. I think it's 30 or, well, we'll see when we get over into the Dokkan wiki, but I'm assuming it's 50. I know high chance is 50% and then medium is 30% or whatnot. Yeah. I think that's what that is. But attack up 160%, great chance to become a super attack. Reduces damage received by 60% for 6 turns from the first appearance. That is really, there's a voice crack there. That is really good. Definitely with the LGE with the STR UI Goku, Omen Goku that you have to get through. So I don't know. Her defense isn't. She doesn't have the defensive buff as Caulifla does, but the reduced damage received would possibly get her through that. It is for 6 turns from the start of battle, so that does kind of mitigates it a little bit. Not as good as, well, what we're used to, especially with the EZA STR SSJ3 Vegeta. I think his is 90% for 10 turns, so 60% for 6. I mean, it's a step in the right direction. I will give them that, but we need a little bit more. It says reduce damage received by 60% when collecting 6 or more physical ki spheres after 7 turns have elapsed from the start of battle. Okay, so they brought this, the damage received by 60%, and basically took it after 7 turns. So they're extending it from the 6 into the 7, but now you have to collect 6 or more physical ki spheres. That essentially, like, and I don't, because she doesn't change orbs, obviously, from anything into physical, so there's nothing really built into her toolkit that would help her sustain that damage received by 60% to collect those 6 ki spheres during, like, in the battle. So, like, there's not really. Essentially, what you're looking at is basically the reduced damage received by 60% for 6 turns, and then it's gone. On a, well, I don't want to say optimal, but on a logical, like, what, Universe 6, what else? Universe Survival Saga. Like, there's not a lot of, I mean, you have Weirus, but you're not going to run Weirus on any of those teams. So, this is not what I would have wanted. Would probably, if they were to change this, when collecting 6 or more physical ki spheres after 7 turns, if they were to change this to after 6 or more ki is obtained, like the EZA Intelligence Gohan, where he I think he gets an automatic super attack after well, no, he doesn't get an automatic super attack. He gets ki +5 when he has 7 or more ki. So, like, something like that. When she has 6 or more ki, then the damage is received by 60%. Something like that. Something that makes it more, or they could have even brought this down from 6 or more physical ki to like 3 or 4. Something like 6 key is not like, it's not viable basically. His super attack causes immense damage and greatly lowers defense. Immense damage is cool. Greatly lowering defense. I mean, that's good. Not really for the meta at the moment, but definitely good. Definitely. So overall, she's not bad. She's definitely on. It's definitely a step up from the original Kale. So I will give them that. It was definitely. It's by no means is she bad, but in comparison to the AGL SS2 CAULIFLA, I feel like a lot of people will be doing the EZA for the CAULIFLA and not the Kale. So with that being said, let's hop on over to Dokkan Wiki, and we're going to be looking at a few teams that we could be working with. First one I want to look at is Universe 6, and I want to look at Universe 6 because I'm going to look at this team that I think is pretty cool. Also because, also want to look at Universe 6 because obviously we have our Kefla lead here with Universe 6 and Rapid Growth categories. So definitely want to use Universe 6 because obviously the team that I'm thinking of running that I think would be fun to use on JP right now, as soon as the EZAs come out, would be a Kale and CAULIFLA based team, where all the units are basically either Kale or CAULIFLA. Especially with the Kefla leading it with Universe 6. You could easily make a pretty fun team, to be honest, with this kind of setup. Jumping in, you could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, making sure. So definitely with these two. So we have the EZA, Super Saiyan 2 Kale, Super Saiyan 2 Kale, woo! Super Saiyan 2 CAULIFLA. Her link skill is basically the same. Battlefield Diva, Super Saiyan, Golden Warrior, Warriors of Universe 6, Prepare for Battle, Tournament of Power, and Shattering the Limit. Link's really good. Hold up. Battlefield Diva. Got Battlefield Diva, Warriors of Universe 6, and Tournament of Power. Those 3. So that's key plus 3. That's key plus 2. That's key plus 2. So that's 2, 4. What's that? 7. With 6, 7, 6. So that's off the bat, they're literally giving her 12 key. And obviously, like I said, if they had brought this down with the 6 or more physical key spheres, if they would have changed that to maybe not even 6 key, if they would have brought it up to 9 key even, because of the sheer key links that are on this, Battlefield Diva, the Saiyan lineage, Warriors of Universe 6, Prepared for Battle, Tournament of Power, Shattering the Limit, even like the sheer amount of key links that she has in her toolkit, they could have literally put this to with 12 or more key, and like nobody would have cared, because I don't think anybody would have cared, to be honest, because of the sheer amount of key links that are on her toolkit already. Like, it would be easy to maintain 12 key. Categories, we're going to be looking at all of these, not all of these, mostly Universe 6 and Universe Survival Saga. So obviously we'll have these two, Kefla. Then we'll add this Tech CAULIFLA. This Tech CAULIFLA is really good Tech CAULIFLA. Raises attack and defense, causes supreme damage, lowers defense. This alone, like without taking out the lowers defense, raises attack and defense, causes supreme damage to enemy, mainstay. Attack and defense up 80%, chance of evading enemy's attack, including super attack, up 8% per Universe 6 or Peppy Gal's ally on the team. And I think that double stacks. Yep. Allies with both the required categories, including herself, will give her a plus 16% chance to evade. So mind you, we have Kefla, who is on Peppy Gal's and Universe 6, right? CAULIFLA. Let me see. Making sure. This is Universe 6 or Peppy Gal's, right. So this is 16. This is 32. 32. This is 48. 48. It says ally, so I don't think it includes her. So we're at 48. 48. You get to 58. 64. 64. At 80. 74. 80. She has an, on this team, she gets an 80% chance. I guess I could have just did 2 times 5 times 8. Made it faster. But yeah, an 80% chance to evade enemies' attacks on this team alone. And we'll get to the 3 units in the back, but 80% chance to evade attacks. Now combine that 80% chance to evade with this high chance, which is a 50% chance to evade, right? 50% chance and additional 30% chance of evading. Okay, so it is 30% the way I thought it was. Okay, so that was 80 and 30. Cool. Not 80 and 30, 50 and 30. But yeah, so you have dodging. So you have 2 dodging units basically. One with a 50%, one with an 80%. Evades enemy's attack, including super attack, when there is a Universe Survival Saga or Pure Sands category enemy. So she has a guaranteed chance to evade on top of evading. So this is built in. So mind you, Pure Sands is a good chunk of most of. That's a Legendary Goku event. To be frank, that's Legendary Goku event. Pure Saiyans. Universe Survival Saga, especially on Dokkan Battlefield with Jiren, Toppo. I think there's a Dispo there. Like, amazing. Like, this team is just the fact. Like, this combined with this. Of course, I think does this team. Then it says launches an additional attack that has a medium chance to become a super attack when there is an ally whose name includes Kale attacking in the same turn. And essentially, because you have 3 Kales and 3 Cauliflas on the same team, you will never have a situation where the rotation does not have either a Kale or a Caulifla. You will never have that. You may have that rare chance where you have 1 unit on an off rotation, where they may be 2 Kales or 2 Cauliflas clashing together, and at that one instance, you will have a place where you'll have either 2 Cauliflas or 2 Kales, and that bottom part does not activate. But for the most part, as long as you have a Kale and a Caulifla floating, I would definitely float this, because, like I said, she's good, but not as good as I'll talk about that later. Let's get through these units. That's that unit. This unit, obviously, if you're gonna have the Tech Kale, gotta have the STR Tech Kale. Tech Caulifla, you gotta have the STR Kale. Same thing, attacking defense up 80% there. Attacking defense up 10% per Pure Saiyans or Peppy Gal's category ally on the team. I think all of these are Pure Saiyans. Yes, Pure Saiyans. I'm assuming all the Kales, Caulifla and Kales is Kefla. I think the only person that isn't on Pure Saiyans is obviously Kefla, because rejection of Patara fusions. Rest in peace, Vegito. So minus Kale, well, minus Kefla and this Kale, you have 4 units, so you get attack and defense up 40%. No, because I'm assuming this doubles as well. Yep, 20%. So you have an attack and defense up 80% once again per Pure Sands of Peppy Gal's category ally on the team. So now you have an 80% dodger. So now you have 80% and then another 80%. Does that? I'm assuming that adds together. So attack and defense up basically 160%. Launches an additional super attack when there is a Universe Survival or Pure Sands category enemy. Guard activated against all attacks when there is an ally whose name includes Caulifla attacking in the same turn. Like, this team is built for, like, this team would be so fun. Like, the damage that they would rack up, you would never, like, obviously, like, you would never think to run this, because a lot of people would run, you know, your hits, your, your Kabbas, your Champas, and whatnot. But a team fully based on Kale and Caulifla, Kefla leading, definitely, like, on paper, it looks really good, really fun, and it looks actually, like, very powerful, to be honest. Like, at first I was like, okay, this is fun, but now that I'm looking at it, 100 attack and defense up 160%, and you're launching an additional super attack, again with Pure Saiyans, the Universe Survival Saga, which takes up arguably 75% of the Dokkan events and most of the hard events that are rolling through Dokkan right now. Like, this team will be powerful, and especially since it's Kale and Caulifla with Kefla leading it, with the guard activated when name includes Caulifla. At that point, that's a given now. So it'll be very, very powerful. And then lastly, we're gonna add this free to play by the way, Super Saiyan 2 Kale that comes from the Tournament of Power event, from the basic Kale, just to fill out the team with that 6th unit. Universe Survival Saga, category allies, key +2, attack and defense of 30%. Again, now we have our support unit, so she can act as the other floater. So basically, the 2 floaters are Kale and Kale, actually. So essentially, you'll have, yeah, what is this? Making sure. Wait, hold up. Do I have an extra? Do I have like 7 units here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Oh, I see where we're going. Yeah. Okay, so we'll be floating this Kale and this Kale, right? So those 2 will be floating. At which point, you have those 2 floating. So you'll have, no, you have 3 units floating. That's why. So you have this floating. You'll probably have this Kale floating, and then you would probably want to float probably all the Kales. Yeah, I think you would probably want to float all the Kales. So float all the Kales, keep the Cauliflas, and if you like so the way that I would do this is, if you like most of the Kales better, it just works to float all of the Kales, because like I said, this Kale isn't comparable to this Caulifla. This Caulifla dodges, so you really want this one over this Kale, and then this Kale is a support unit, so you really want this one floating. And once you do that, once all the Kales are put on floater rotations, and then you have Kefla, Caulifla on one rotation, on both rotations, essentially you'll keep rotating out Kale. And at that point, you would never have a situation where you have 2 Cauliflas or 2 Kales, except probably towards the beginning of the game when you're like setting up your rotations. But at that point, you'll never have a situation where you don't have a Kale and a Caulifla, which means by that point, now it becomes guaranteed. That passive where it says when name includes Kale, now it's guaranteed. And since my movie is successful because I was editing a video, and it's just telling me that my video's done, so I can put that up after I finish this one up. Defense up 50% when there's an ally whose name includes Caulifla on the team. We just said that is becomes 100% guaranteed. And all allies, key +1, attack and defense up 10% when there is an ally whose name includes Caulifla attacking in the same turn. So now, what we have with this unit, we have key +2, attack and defense up 30%, right? And then another key +1, attack and defense up 10%. So now you have key +3, defense, attack and defense up 40%. Now, mind you, this is the same kind of passive that's built into, I think, the AGL Turles, because I know he has stats up 40%. I know he has stats up 40%. I don't remember if it's attack and defense, but I have reason to believe that it is. So that key +3, attack and defense up 40% on this team, it's very powerful. So I would highly suggest running this team, because again, this team will be very powerful. Very, very powerful. it'll just be like amazingly fun to run. I can't wait to like run this team on global, for all of these units to come through. Most of these units have already come through on global, but for their awakenings, the EZAs, like I cannot wait to run this team on global, because the power behind this will be amazing. Like it'll be out of this world. Well, it won't be, actually no, I don't want to say out of this world, because then people are gonna comment below like, oh, well, it's not gonna be better than the blue fusions. I know it's not gonna be better than the blue fusions, but it will be very powerful for the units in comparison to what you see at face value. Like at face value, you're looking at these units and you don't expect much, but the power behind them, which come with these new EZAs, will be very, very, very good. But with all that being said, I thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't done so already, consider going down there. Look at the like button. If the like button is not blue, consider going down there, hitting that like button. Also, if you're looking at the channel, you're looking at this team, you're looking at the EZAs for the new, well, not new, but the EZAs for the Super Saiyan 2 CAULIFLA and the Berserk Kale, consider going down there, hitting that subscribe button, turning it from red to gray, and joining the hashtag DRarmy today. But with all that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.